I'm real low here. Hold on. I look extra short today. I'm not that short. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's better. How we doing? Happy Tuesday. Good morning to all the familiar faces. What it do, Paulie? What it do? Morning, guys. Welcome back. Step on into the arena. All right. Cold out there. Another cold day out there. The Lulu comeback trade. Lulu comeback trade started when I bought shares. So we can look at that right now, actually. I bought shares. When did I buy these shares? Lululemon. Yoga pants. Can I see the activity just in Lululemon? Let me see here. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. There's got to be the way to see when I bought just this stock. Might have to just go through. Well, I guess you can. Might have to just go through my activity. When did I buy Lululemon? Well, I bought some there, November 4th. Let's go next. Might have been November. No, here it is. October 22nd. October 22nd, I bought $10,000 worth of Lululemon shares. October 22nd. That's when I was interested in this comeback trade. October 22nd was right here. Right around here. That's when I bought the $10,000 worth of shares. And I think this is still alive. And I think yesterday actually showing you that it's very much still alive. We'll talk about this one, but if you guys have been paying attention, we've been talking about Lulu as a comeback name. I bought shares because I knew I wasn't going to be able to hold options right through it all, and I know that with my shares I can really soak up all of the opportunities, so that's why I did what I did. That's why I always do that. So yeah, good share purchase there. Up around, what am I up? Up. Average is 300. It's at 330, so it's up, what is it? Up around 10% on the shares. Not bad. Not too bad. Him's position. We can pull that up real quick. And then let's get started after that. Hope you guys are having a good morning. Hope everyone's enjoying their day so far. Hope you had a decent day yesterday. Yesterday, vertical off the open, which was, I guess you could say, nice, but sort of hard to get those entry points. Man, what a beautiful Microsoft trade, though. All right, we talked about that Microsoft 420. That might have been trade of the, or at least the highest percentage point return of the day. Pretty hard to get an entry point because everything was just sort of vertical off the open. So that's difficult, right? Sometimes it's pretty difficult to get that move right off the open. Just trying to log in here. Hold on a second. Yeah, sometimes sort of difficult to get that right off the open move. Pause. Bear with me here. I'm going to show you on my phone here. Here's my HIMS position. So right now up 28%, I think that says. I have 1,000 shares of HIMS at 24. There you go. 1,000 shares of HIMS at 24. Just going to hold it, man. I mean, why not? All right, just let it be. Let it be. Let it sit. Really no concerns there. It's going to see if HIMS is the dark horse. See if HIMS is the next big move, right? I mean, we've been talking about that before. I think it's gotten that popular, so I think we're sitting in a pretty good position there at 24. So just going to let that be. If I lose $24,000 on that stock and it goes to zero, well, you know what, man? I'll survive, right? It'll be a tough day, but I'll survive. It is what it is. So that's my game plan on that one. All right. I need HIMS, man. Look at that. Hey, you know what the best thing in life is, guys? You know what the number one thing in life is that I always believe in, and it's the most important thing in life? You need to be confident, okay? You need to be a confident person. I don't give a fuck what someone has to say about my hairline. I do not care. That's how I was born. That's how I was raised. I mean, that's how God made me. I don't give a shit, right? If you got something to say, you're just, you're insecure yourself, right? You got to be confident. Confident with what you got. I'm short. I got a receding hairline, but I am very confident in what I do, in my abilities, in what I can, in who I am. I think that's one of the most important things in life, man. That is, just got to joke about it, right? It is what it is. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I ain't going to Turkey, man. I ain't going to Turkey. I ain't doing that bullshit. I ain't about that life. I ain't about that life. So if you got a receding hairline out there, if you're bald out there, if you're short out there, if someone's got something to say about you, fuck them. All right? Fuck them. That's how you got to be, man. You got to be confident no matter what it is in life. Do not care what other people say. Don't care. Right? I wouldn't be here on YouTube if I cared. I wouldn't be, I'd be worried about what my friends thought about me making YouTube videos. I'd be worried about what my family has to say about me being online and saying this. And right, you can't care. That's the number one thing. If that's the one thing you take away from live stream today, besides the data and besides the levels, it's to be confident. Right? All right. Let's do it. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. It's going to take you far, man. It's going to take you far. All right. Here we go. So, economic data today. Oops. I didn't want that. No, I don't want that either. Please. Minimize that for me. Today. Hello? Why is it doing this? Today, Jolt's 10 o'clock. Right? Jolt's 10 o'clock. Be aware of that. We'll see what happens around that 10 o'clock time frame. There was a decent amount of volatility here yesterday, guys. So you do want to be aware of these, right? You do want to be aware of these. We definitely have some volatility in the markets around these economic events. We definitely saw a little bit of volatility around 10 o'clock yesterday. So be aware of that today. 10 o'clock Jolts. That's probably about it for today. Tomorrow, non-farm employment change, 8:15. ISM services PMI. Thursday, unemployment claims. We do have Powell speaking today or tomorrow at 1:45 as well, so be aware of that. And then Friday, our normal hourly earnings, employment change, unemployment rate. Someone posted a donation earlier. Who was that? Antonio Verratti. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that for the $10 donation. I appreciate that for my friend. Hopefully it comes from, hopefully you're using the levels and finding success. I hope that is why you are donating. I appreciate that, Antonio. Man, your hairline is strong just like the money gains. Let's get it. Appreciate that, man. All right, let's do it. Earnings. Do we have any earnings today? I'm really not that focused on earnings anymore, but today we do have CRM, Salesforce, and MRVL. So those are two interesting ones. We'll take a look at them, CRM and MRVL. MRVL actually, you know what? MRVL actually an interesting semi to continue this semi strength, right? This could be, oh yeah, MRVL's been hot, man. This is a sleeper. This is one of the biggest sleepers out there, MRVL. And I'm guilty of it too. I do not pay attention to this stock as much as I should. MRVL, a sleeper of a semiconductor, breaking out to new highs here, really strong. And actually, I mean, look at this. This could be a beautiful trade. 94 retest. Man. So, MRVL, CRM tonight on the earnings side. But let's jump into the Nasdaq futures. Here we go. So, yesterday, what did we talk about? If you came to the live stream yesterday, you know what we talked about. You should know what we talked about. We talked about the fact that if we get over 21,050, we are going to go vertically into 21,250. That is exactly what happened. What we talked about on this live stream yesterday is exactly what happened yesterday. Verbatim. We talked about the fact that if you get above that channel low, you would likely move to the channel high, right? And you saw that exact move yesterday. You went from the channel low to the channel high yesterday, the 21,050 to the 21,250. It was the exact thing we talked about. So, perfect, right? What happened yesterday makes a lot of sense. You're traveling through that previous channel, but now guess what? You're at the channel high. So we need to be careful of that 21,250 level. That is the caution level now above 21,250. And then, of course, the all-time high at 21,340. Let me go ahead and actually mark that real quick. All-time high. That is our all-time high, right? 21,340. So today, we're watching the 21,250. Can we get above it or do we get stuck below it, right? Do we get stuck below these major previous highs right here, 21,250? We can see the rejections, and we are right at it today. There's two levels that I would be looking for on the retest long. There's two levels. The real one, right, the big one, and I'm going to do this level with you guys live, so I'm going to delete it right now. But the major retest and the best retest would be this low, right? If we can come back down to this low, retest these previous highs, right? Retest this channel low. If we could find a long here at 21,050, and then at that same time, you would be getting the 20 SMA sort of catching up to price action, right? You see this 20 SMA right here, right here, right here. See that uptrending daily 20? If you pull back to this 21,050, guess what happens during that pullback, right? If it takes a day or two, you're going to have 2 more days of the 20 SMA trending higher. And what possibly happens here, if we zoom in, right? What possibly happens here is while you move lower to that 21,050, right? This 20 SMA is going to be catching up to price action, right? And there might be a day that you see price action and the 20 SMA match each other. And that would be the perfect storm long, right? Right there. So, do you want to wait for it, right? That's the question now. Are you able to have the confidence and patience to wait for that long? There's going to be some, right? There's going to be a possibility of just continuing to squeeze, or there's going to be some longs that get caught up here. This pulls back, they get panicked out of their position, and then this new long sets up, right? That would be the perfect long in the perfect situation, in the perfect world, would be the retest of these previous highs, right? With the 20 SMA catching up, right? That is the perfect long opportunity, right? Right there. 20 SMA catching up, market pulling back to that retest level, bam, right there. So we'll see. We'll see if we get that. But that would be what should be in your mind to pay attention to, okay? That would be the key spot if we can get that pullback long. Now, before we get that, there is a level that I would say could hold before we even get that pullback. And that, to me, is right here at 21,150. 21,150. And I will show you where this comes from. 21,150. And what we have to do is we have to go back to that consolidation range and talk about what happened back in this area. So 21,150, you guys can see right here. Get Tom, I'm either going to kick Tom out of the chat, Tom, or you need to stop, man. It's just ridiculous. How many messages are you going to send? Margin, if it continues, get him out of here. 21,150, right? Right here. See this? Right here. Right here. Right here. Right here. Right? 150, 150, 150, 150. Okay? See that? See how we held here, we held here, we held here, we held here. See the 21,150? That is a level that I would watch. Now, why would I watch 21,150 today? I'm going to go ahead and drag this over, and I'm going to show you what happened at this level yesterday. Right? Look at this. Look at the 5-minute chart yesterday. This is yesterday's price action. See this right here? See that? Bam, bam, 21,150 on the intraday, holding strong, creating upside, right? So today, this could be a spot that you look for that pullback long. 21,150 on the Nasdaq futures, I think, is actually now a very important level, right? Because you can see the rejections here, right here, right here. You can see those rejections very clearly the holds very clearly at 21,150, and I would look for that level again if we get a pullback. That would be the only level that I think it could hold before pulling back to the 21,050 spot, right? It's either 21,150 or it's back to this 21,050, right? It's one of those two levels, okay? So watch them both today, here and here. Look for those pullback longs. Those are your great opportunities, right? Those are your best opportunities, here or here on the pullback long. Now, if we don't get those pullbacks, right, and we just squeeze through this 250 high, then you're looking for the break and hold above this, right? Very clearly. If you get a break and hold above the 250, you're going to all-time highs, okay? And then that is your next supply, of course, to pay attention to. So there's three options today. There's three quality trades today. Here are your three quality longs. Here they are, okay? It's either break and hold over 250. That's quality long number one. The next quality long to look for would be a pullback to 150 and a hold there, okay? Next long would be a deeper pullback towards that 50, right, and a long here. Those are the only three spots that I would recommend to look for a long entry today. If you long anywhere else, you're longing in the middle of the twilight zone. You're longing in the middle of a black hole. You're longing in the middle of nowhere, right? It's in no man's land. So you need to use the levels to set up your entry points. 21,150, 21,050, or above 21,250 are the levels to watch on the Nasdaq futures. You could look to fade this high if you really want, right? If you really can't stand that the market's going higher, you could look to fade this high. I would not do that, okay? That's just me personally. I would not do it. I'm not interested in fading a market like we're seeing right now. I was interested in fading that bear flag potential, right, which we did and we took profits on, but this has very clearly proven to you that It is not a favorable market to try to fade, okay? And so while you might get this fade, right, and you very well could, guys, and if you come back tomorrow, Desi said don't fade the market, it's down 1%, right? You're getting kicked out instantly. You could absolutely see some downside on this market. I'm just not interested in fading against this strength. It's just not interesting, right? It's a very sweaty short. I just don't really see... I'm just not interested in moving against the market like that. So you could look for these fades, right? The 21,250, very possible, right? To see a little bit of downside into that 150. Under 150, you probably get a nice little fade into the 50, right? You could definitely fade these spots if you start to see weakness. But man, I just don't really feel like going against this strength of a market right now. So I'm more interested in looking for the pullback longs, 150, 50, over 250, and that's that. Okay. QQQ. Right over 510 to 515. I have adjusted my charts a little bit today. I have adjusted my charts on the Qs just a little bit today. I'm going to show you why right now. So I moved this 515 level. I moved it down to 514.50. And I'm going to show you here on the short-term time frames why I did that. I'm going to go to the 15-minute chart, and we're going to look at some of the yesterday reactions here. So right around here, we can see we had a little hold end of day around this 514.50, and we're starting to get a little hold right here in the pre-market. I think that is a level to watch, right? Right around here. I'm going to go down to actually the 5-minute chart and show you a little bit more detail here. So you can see, right? We had some rejections in this area and holds in this area. We had a flip, like a bullish flip right here on the intraday. So that is right around that 514.50. It's right around that, yeah, I mean, you can't really get an exact level on it. 514.50, 514.30, right in that general area. So I would look for that to hold today, right? Right around here. 514.50, 514.30 area. Look to see if this low from yesterday hold strong. Right now, it is holding, right? We can see right now that is coming in. That hold is coming in. Underneath, Tom, you got to stop. You got to stop. You got to stop spamming the chat. You got to. 514.50, right? Watch that. Under that, 513.35, okay? Those are two levels that I'm going to watch today on the QQQ. Watch this previous level. Watch this level, right? You have this low here at 513.35. You have this low right here at 514.50. I'm going to look to see if these two levels create some type of an upside move or long entry on the QQQ today. If we break under this 513.35 area, under this 513.50, right? It's not going to be a perfect level, okay? It's right around that 513.50, 513.30. If we break under that today, then I think you might see, sort of that more aggressive pullback to our 510 again. So I think right now, these are the two levels I'm watching. 513.50, 514.50. You can see the step-ups there yesterday and the hold here end of day yesterday. I'm going to look to see if that sets up along or that sets up along. I would not be as confidently long on the intraday, that's just today, if we break and hold under this level right here, right? If we fail underneath this 513.50, if we fail back under this low from yesterday, then I think you will slide lower, okay? So under 513.50, I think you would slide lower, and that slide lower would probably bring us back down into, which is the best long entry, 510, right? 510, in my opinion, is your best long entry. Now, why is 510 my best long entry? Because 510 is the retest of this previous triple top high, right there. And this would also be a warranted pullback with the daily 20 SMA catching up to price action, right? So the longs are beautiful near the 20. You guys know that. We extend ourselves over the 20. We come back to it. We've talked about this for years on this live stream. We extend ourselves over the 20. We come back to it. It happens every single time. When we start to get too extended past that daily 20 SMA, it's likely that the markets will want to retrace to it to find that next long entry. What have you done recently since just Wednesday, right? Wednesday, 20 SMA, extension over it. What's the next real trade? Pull back to 510, right? And then let that 20 SMA catch up. That's the next real long entry. Now, the market's got momentum behind it right now. And do we need to get that pullback yet? No, we don't, right? We don't need to get that pullback quite yet. This could extend more than, just yesterday. So it might take some time for us to even get back to that level, right? So right here, 510, right? That's the previous level, 510. That would be the best long entry spot. That would be giving back this straight up move, which you never really like to see straight up moves in the market. I know it's sexy. I know it's hot for, some open swing positions, some positions you may have open, but it's really not great for the market. It leaves behind a ugly trail, and typically it is given back. So be aware of that 510. That's the best long. Let that 20 SMA catch up. That's where you're really going to see that next major opportunity. But for now, in the short term, 513.50 and these previous highs at 514.50, if those hold, you're going higher, right? You're going higher. And going higher would be going into the all-time high at 516.68. That would be your all-time high level. Could the Nasdaq, could the QQQ squeeze over all-time highs before it comes back down to 510? Yes, right? So you can't just say, oh, Desi said we're going to come back to the 20 SMA. I'm going to short the market. No, okay? No. That's not what that means. This could go to 525, right, before this goes to 510. It's very possible, right? So we could continue this momentum. We could squeeze over all-time highs today, and if we do, we need to look for that long as well, right? Just know at some point, if we do start to crack down some of these levels, this would be the ultimate target on the downside, 510. Okay? ES, a really shitty day on the ES. I mean, really ugly. I mean, just sort of not even tradable yesterday for the ES. Strong move, right? Above all-time highs. It is all-time highs right now on the ES. And the Nasdaq is absolutely, yesterday, what you guys saw yesterday was just the Nasdaq catch-up, right? If I could explain what you saw yesterday in one word, or in two words, Nasdaq catch-up, I mean, that's pretty much what it is, right? The Nasdaq was just catching up to the ES, right, where the ES is already at all-time highs. ES pretty much just held itself sideways. What I would look for today is the pullback to around that 60.50, 60.53 spot, and look to see if that creates a new long opportunity. So if we go to the short-term time frames, if we go to yesterday's price action, you can see that 60.53, 60.50 level we talked about. All right, look how well that held all morning, right? Right there, right there. That would be my first long spot I'd look for today on the ES. I think you want pullbacks before longing this, right? I think you want pullbacks before longing this. You don't want to get stuck in this, right? So pullbacks are going to be your best friend if you're looking for some longs on the ES. Pullbacks to that 60.50, I think, would be a fantastic look, right there. And then under that, 60.35. These would be my two spots to look for those longs today. 50 and 35. Look for the entry points around those levels. If you don't get those pullbacks, then you're just going to have to long on a break and hold over the 68 level, all right? But I think overall, those would be your best longs on the pullbacks to 50 and the pullbacks to 35. Let me go ahead and show you this on the zoomed out look. Right here, 35. I love that as a long entry. I love this long right here at 35. And I also love the look to see if we can hold above that previous all-time high around that 50. So those would be my two spots to look for today, 60.50, 60.35. Just be aware of that all-time high at 68. SPY, well above all-time highs. The previous all-time highs is 601, right? And this is, without a doubt, the best long opportunity if we ever get to it, right? I don't know if we're going to get back there. I don't know how long it's going to take, but the best long opportunity. Isn't the Jolts at 10 o'clock, my friend? Jolts is at 10 o'clock. The best long in my eyes is always going to be a retest of previous all-time highs, and that is $601 on the SPY. If we get back to that level, that is going to be your spot. I mean, that's going to be a sexy long. If we can get back to that 601, that's definitely something you're paying attention to. If we zoom in here on the 30-minute chart, right, you can see right here how great of a hold that was yesterday, creating that move. If we get back to it at some point, that's another great watch on another long off that previous all-time high. So look for that 601, right? That would be great. Don't be scared of a pullback to that level, please. Okay? I still see it, right? I talk about this nonstop, but I still see it, and I know it's a hard habit to break. I know it's a hard thing to get out of your mind, man. But I still see traders that are way too zoomed into the market, right? It's almost as if we're trading looking at candles like this, right? It's almost as if we're looking at every candle like this. Guys, do not be panicked if the market pulls back to 601. This is not a, oh my God, why is the market tanking move? Okay, this is a pullback to previous all-time highs. That is fantastic, right? That is exactly what you want. Look at this trend on the SPY. My God. Man, is that a sturdy trend. I mean, geez. Just an absolute rope on the SPY right now. Guys, pullbacks are your friend, okay? Think about Nemo. Think about fish are your friends, not food. If you want to long this market, you don't want to long at highs. You want pullbacks. Stop being scared of the market going down 0.25% on the intraday. You can't do it. All right. If you still react that way on the intraday, you need to figure out something. You need to figure something out. Okay. It's not going to work. We cannot be heightened emotions because of a market pullback in a year-long relentless uptrend. Okay? So, if we get a pullback to 601 and it's aggressive, right? If it's straight down to that level, you should be licking your chops. You should be excited, right? You should be, oh, here we go, right? This is exactly what I want, right? If you get a straight down move to 601, that's exactly what you want, right? Because straight down means straight up. And if we get straight down into previous all-time highs, that is the exact long you want, right? So watch 601. That would be great. And then watch 603. Okay? Watch 603. Watch 601. Those are your two levels to watch today. Under 601, you got 599.20 and 598. Very clear levels on the SPY. Just insanely clear levels on the SPY. And let the market pull back to these levels. Let the market come back to these levels and let it find new opportunities. Okay? IWM just stuck. Really nothing yet, but very strong consolidation still. Still above 239. Just can't get over the all-time high. So for now, I'd say leave it alone. Maybe set your alerts, but really nothing going on. Dow Jones real quick before we get into the SMH. Dow Jones came right into our level. I don't know if you guys if you're paying attention yesterday, we talked about the 44.8, and that is the exact level that the Dow Jones pulled back to yesterday. That was perfection. Under that, 44.550, 44.560. That's your next level, right? Look how the Dow is holding on to that level right here. 44.800. Keep an eye on that spot today. If we fail that, we're going to 550, 560. Okay? SMH. Here we go. This is the very interesting thing that happened yesterday, and we've been talking about this. Go watch my video yesterday if you want an in-depth analysis on the SMH and why I really like it. 247, man. It's all about 247 today. It is all about 247 today. Can we hold above it? What a beautiful long off the 200 SMA. What a very nice continuation off that 200 SMA and off that 237 demand. Can we hold over 247 today? If we can, I think this is getting started, right? This is a beautiful hold above the 20 SMA. This could be a nice hold above the 50 and the 20 right here. You can see the two SMAs right there. If we can hold above these previous major rejection points right here, right? See this major failure spot here on the SMH at 247? If we can turn that into a new low right here, that would be incredible for the SMH and semiconductor movement. Let's see if that happens today. Let's see if this sets up another long off the 247. 200 SMA holding strong, holding above the 100, holding above the 200. Can we reclaim the 20 and the 50 here and hold above the 247? That is what you're watching today. If you could do that, I think you're targeting the 257 personally. I think this would navigate right to 257, right up here. That would be the next move in my opinion. Okay? 3,000 people, 900 likes, 1/3. 1/3. Press the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Tesla. A little bit of downside in the after hours because of the judge denying Elon's pay package, which is just asinine. After shareholders accept it, the judge denies it. It's just craziness. I don't really know how that's even a thing, but I guess that's the world we live in here. 360-280. 360. I'm actually going to move that down to 360-280 because that's the exact high that rejected twice. 360-280, right? That is the failure and the failure right here and right here, right? Very nice 360-280 failures. You're still under it, right? So we still need to be careful, okay? We need to be careful. 360-280, that is a potential triple top. We got to get above that level, right? You got to get above that level. If you can get above that level, I think you get a nice breath of fresh air and you get that big squeeze on Tesla. But that has not happened yet. For now, I think you just need to see how Tesla maintains this 345 to 350 zone. It's a 5-point zone for now because I don't quite know the exact level yet. Right? I need more information here. For now, I see reactions all within this 5-point range, right? And Tesla loves to sort of poke its head into these zones and then fail, right? So you can't really trade Tesla based off an exact level, right? Because it loves to sort of fake out traders, grab liquidity within zones, right? And then sort of do exactly what the opposite is, right? So for example, right? See this? This went up to 347, right? And sort of failed and, grabbed liquidity within that zone, right? Yesterday, right? We had some sort of pokes below that 350, but ultimately holding higher. So Tesla loves to do this, right? And you see it all over the place, right? Let's go to the 30-minute chart. Look at all this. See this is all liquidity grabbing, right? Grabbing it there, grabbing it on that wick, right? Here. So it's an entire zone that you need to be careful of. And that's what makes Tesla a little bit difficult, right? It makes it a little bit difficult because it likes to do these things. So that is why I'm keeping this zone on my chart, because I think anywhere between 350 and 345, it could do that same type of, alfalfa type move, right? It could keep doing that within that zone. I don't think it's until a fail under 345 that you would say, okay, Tesla's now clearly breaking down, right? If you break under 345 and you break under this right here and these highs, right? If you break under that, then I'd say, okay, this is no longer holding this zone. I think that now is potentially bearish to 335. But anything between this 5-point range, I think could be a total sort of liquidity grab for more upside. I would be watching that area. I'm not that interested in trading this. I'm really not. I bought a lot of Tesla shares yesterday. I'm just going to keep buying shares, guys. I do not want to look back into 10 years from now and say, holy shit, Tesla at the high 200s, the low 300s, what a share purchase that was. That's what my focus is on right now into end of year. I'm probably not going to get too crazy on the Tesla options. I think we've done our job on Tesla options. We've made the juice. So I'm just going to use that money that I made on Tesla options and just start buying some shares and not stress about this as much as of now. I think Tesla's in a little bit of a tough situation, right? This 360-280 looks really tough. I would just monitor this zone below. Continue to see how Tesla holds that zone. That's really what I'm watching. Nvidia. Very interested in this stock. I think absolutely an opportunity after this major pullback. If I go here, you can see I really think there's an opportunity brewing. I would not look away from this stock right now. This is a very important zone that it is recently held, right? This previous major high right here, which held here, which held here, and which held once again here, right? And so I really think Nvidia is going to do another one of these moves, right? Back to all-time highs and maybe even higher. That is my game plan right now on Nvidia. So I'm really trusting this longer-term analysis on Nvidia as of right now. If we go down to the shorter-term time frames, there are levels that I still need to see break before I have really, really big confidence. Number one is the 139.30 and 140, right? I think we need to get above these two levels, 139.30 and 140. We got to get and clear out these levels here. If I go to the 30-minute chart, this will be a little bit cleaner. Let me go ahead and go to that now. So right here on Nvidia, you can see I think you got to get above this 140. That's very important, right? And then this 139.30 spot is also showing some rejections as well. So if you can get over that 140, I think this is really going to get going towards that 143.50. And this would really create that inverse head and shoulder, right? You can see, I think this was the neckline at 138. And right now you are holding above that neckline. Right, so I really like the 138 holds. That is very big to me because this is where the previous rejections came in, right? You can see here 138, 138, 138, right? Failure under 138. So you are rejecting that 138 and holding that 136 after the alfalfa downside move, right? That's the alfalfa liquidity grab right here into 132. Now you're seeing a hold over 138, which I think is very important. As long as you're over that 138, I think this is in prime time upside situation. I think it's still very bullish over 136 and 135 personally, right? Even if we get a pullback, I think there's still great longs to be had here. But over 138 is like ideal. If you can get over 140 and hold above 140, then I think this is game time, right, for that upside move. So very much a watch for me. You guys know if you're in the group, I'm in a position here, 143.50. That's the ultimate target for now. And then above that, I think it's all-time highs. So very much watching that. AMD. So guys, I know AMD is going to start popping up on your interest, right? It's going to start, oh, here we go, right? Here's what I would say about AMD. There's one level that I think you can let break before you feel like you're going to miss out on this, okay? You do not need to feel like you're missing out on this move right now. Why? Here it is, right? It's right here. 150, okay? 150. If you remember back to our early November streams, if you guys were paying attention, if you weren't sleeping and just popping this on, right? Don't just come to the live stream and be in autopilot, right? That's not going to help you. Pay attention, right? I got you on MU and CrowdStrike. If you go back to November and you remember we were talking about this area right here on AMD, I vividly remember this day because we were looking at, is this a reclaim long or is this the break and retest short, right? I remember vividly talking about this 150 move, and it ended up being the perfect short entry. I mean, an incredible short entry on AMD. You do not need to feel like you're missing out on this move until it gets back above this level, right? AMD could simply do this and fail right back down and stay within this channel and do nothing, okay? I would personally wait for that. That also is the 100 SMA and the 50 SMA, right? Those are two very big SMAs above at 150, and I pretty much will just ignore AMD until I get this alert that I have on my charts. If I get that alert to go off and this thing's holding over 150, that would be where I'd say, okay, it's game time, right? It's game time. So for me, I'm going to stay away from the possibility of some failures in this zone. I'm going to wait for 150. If it gets over 145, I think you will go to 150. So you can look for that, right? If you want, you can look for the hold over 145 into 150. I think that is possible. But for me, I'm waiting for 150, okay? I'm waiting for 150. Broadcom, very interesting hold over 167 today. This is absolutely something I'm watching. This now is, I think, very interesting. Look at this 167. Bam, 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 right? Look at this, 167. Watch that level today on Broadcom, please. 167 Broadcom. TSM, strong comeback for now, TSM. If we go to this weekly chart, it's actually a very, very nice looking weekly chart. Nice little hold of that 170, right? Look at this little break and retest. I think this could be a very interesting weekly consolidation or weekly continuation. The level that I would want it back to really get aggressive long would be 190. I don't know if I'm going to get that, right? But this would really be the long that I want at 190. If I don't get that, then you're going to have to watch this pretty much straight into 199. 199 would be the next major high. A pullback to 190 would be a dream if you can get that. Okay. SMCI, I know this one is getting interest because of the comeback move. Guys, if I can say one thing, it's do not just forget about your trading strategy because SMCI is vertical. If we focus on a trading strategy, where is the next long entry, guys? And here's what I will say, okay? And this is what I will very clearly show you on SMCI. It's doing exactly what it should do to go higher. And there is very clear long entries here that don't require chasing. Where was that long entry, right? Someone should be able to see where the long entry was without chasing. And this should prove to you that you don't need to chase SMCI to find a long entry. You do not need to wake up today and say, holy shit, if I don't buy SMCI today, I'll never find a long entry and I have to chase this. No, right? That's not what SMCI is doing, right? You can see a long entry on this chart and it is absolutely perfect, okay? And it's going to happen again. Look at these previous highs and look at the 31 hold, right? You did not, if you chased it here because you can't help yourself, you got smacked, right? And if you chase it here because you can't help yourself, you probably are going to get smacked, right? So, where's the long entry? It's absolutely perfect at 38, right? It's absolutely perfect at 38. Wait for 38, right? That is where you are not going to get smacked. That is where you're not going to be, holy shit, I can't believe it's down today. Why is it down? I chased it at the highs. Manipulation. No. 47 is a very big level. You have the 100 SMA above. It is very likely to find supply there and move back into the 38, which would set up the exact long entry that's set up right here, right? And if people were disciplined, longing it here, guess what? You get absolutely paid off, right? So here's your long, 38. Wait for it. Careful of 47. Be careful of 51. Can SMCI go higher before it pulls back? Yes. Right? I don't want to hear it. Desi said wait for 38. The SMCI is at 52. Okay? It can go higher before it pulls back to 38. But I'm going to tell you one thing. If it pulls back to that 38, that's where the longs are going to step in. ASML, you want ASML over 712. If ASML can get over 712, I think this goes to 732 right here. 712, if you can get over that, I think you go to 732. Let's go into some other stocks besides semis now. Let's go to Apple. Apple, guys, just own it, okay? Own it, don't trade it. This is the one thing that I've said for years that I agree with Jim Cramer. I say this every single time we look at Apple. Buy the goddamn shares, okay? Buy them, please. You really can't beat the balance sheet of Apple. You can't beat just the strength of this company. It's going to be around forever, I hope. I don't know. If Apple goes out of business, guys, we're probably not on this live stream. We probably don't own our own houses anymore. We probably have lost quite a bit of our freedom. It's probably not looking like a good world out there if Apple goes out of business. So I will not ever be scared of investing in Apple, because if Apple goes out of business, then every stock that I have in my long-term is probably at zero. So 237.50, right? That's really your pullback long. That's really where you want your long if you're trading options. In terms of shares, I would just buy them. That's really it. 237.50, that's the long if you want to wait for it. That's the real long. Google, an interesting comeback trade off the 200 SMA, right? An interesting comeback trade off the 200 SMA. You can see right here in the daily chart. They're not going to get wiped out. It's just, not, guys, who's going to wipe Apple out? They have more money than like almost every country. couple $1 trillion. I don't know. 166. You can see that 200 SMA, right? Very clear 200 SMA bouncing. Hey. If you don't agree with my take, right, then just don't invest in Apple, okay? That's it. End of story. If you don't agree with my take, don't invest in Apple and continue to miss out on the stock, okay? That's it. If you don't agree with my take, don't invest in this chart. And if you can't invest in this chart, I don't know what the hell you're going to be able to invest in, right? If you can't look at this chart and say, man, I trust Apple, I have no idea what it's going to take to get you to trust something, okay? And that's the end of the story right there. Google, man, look at that weekly chart on Google, huh? Holy shit. That is very clean on Google. Wow. Anyways, Google, 172.75, right? Right here. If you can hold that today, guys, you might get more, right? You might get more. Over 172.75. You might be able to get more over that. The pullback would actually be nice as well towards this 171.50 spot. Right, this would actually be quite a nice retest right here. You see this? See this right here? Previous highs. If you can get a little break and retest here, I would look for this continuation on Google, right here. 171.50. Look for that retest long. I actually sort of like that. Keep that on watch. Amazon, strong stock. Hold of 210 yesterday. Next supply level is very clear above at 212. 212 here. 212 here. TB, you better get those people ready for some rated R, man. I don't know if you got the PG-13 over on your side, but make sure they get ready for the rated R. 212, right? Keep an eye on that 212. That's the very important level. Get Big Spark out of the chat, please. Get him out, please. 212. Watch that level on Amazon. If you can get above 212 on Amazon, I think you look for that 213.50. Pullback longs 210. Pullback longs 210. Pullback longs 208. Microsoft. Oh baby, what a long this was. What a long this was. Microsoft off 420, man. Beautiful. Beautiful. Right here. 420. 420. Look at that hold on Microsoft. Look at that break and retest. Gorgeous stuff right there. 20. All the SMAs just stacked up. What a squeeze. What are you looking for on Microsoft today? Right here. It's very clear. Right here. Look. 429. You need to hold over 429. If you can hold over 429 on Microsoft here, that is very positive to hold above the previous highs and possibly get the upside continuation. Now, the big level that needs to break is still very clear here around the 433. That's a major supply. But what you want to see on this 4-hour chart, right, is you want to see these highs right here at 429 hold as a low. If that can hold as a low, this is possibly starting to create higher lows. 433 would be your next long, okay? Watch 429. Look for the long over 433. Netflix, what a beautiful continuation after that drop. Look at the chart, man. We talked about this level yesterday on Netflix, and it did exactly as we showed. Look, 885. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Previous highs right there. Look at the hold. I mean, that's just perfect stuff. It's perfect. Previous major highs. Look at the lows. It's absolutely perfect. Break, retest, bam. What are you looking for today? The exact same thing. Right here. 892. Pullback long. Look for 892 to hold today. 892, 885. Very clear. Costco, I'd watch Costco holding over the triple top all-time highs right here at 976. 976, 976, 976, 976. Look for that long. 976. I think, what did Boom Boom want? He wanted MU and CrowdStrike. MU CrowdStrike. MU back over 99 is interesting. And if you like the semiconductor comeback, then MU's something you could watch. I don't love MU. It's not the strongest of stocks, in my opinion. But if there's a tide rises all boats type of move on the semiconductors, then this is absolutely something you could watch. 95.50 holding back over the 99. But what did I say, guys, last time? We had everyone. All right, so this is a very good example, okay? If you pay attention to the live stream, guys, I remember these things. I have a very good memory. We were all horned up, right? The chat was all horned up over MU into this 105 area, okay? Every day on the live stream between Thursday and Friday, every single day, these 2 days last week or 2 weeks ago, I was asked about MU. What about MU, Desi? What about MU? MU. Take a look at MU, right? And what did I say every time? You got to get over 105. You got to get over 105. You have to get over this supply. You cannot long it back into this supply level, right? It is a very major rejection spot. And nothing has changed here, guys. So if you are going to long MU down here, which I think is a possible good risk-reward long off 99, right? Very possible, off the 99 or the 95. But you have to pay attention to the 105, okay? You need to know what you're trading into. That's it. You just need to know that you're limited to the upside to 105. If you want to wait for 105 to break, that's probably an even more aggressive upside move if you can get that 105 to break. CrowdStrike, it's holding the exact level you want it to hold. It's holding the exact level you want it to hold, right? And it's just timid for now, but it is absolutely holding the level, right here. 336, 333, exact level, okay? All right. Let's go into the market real quick because it's way too late, guys. It's time to head out. Nasdaq futures, 21,250, same level. Nothing's changed. 21,150, 21,050. Same levels. ES, I would look for the pullbacks to 60.50 and 60.35 today. All right, those would be my pullback long. SPY, 603, 601. And QQQ, I'd say this 513.50 area, 514.50. But really, I'm going to say it again. The real long is at 510. This is really the real long. All right, that's it. Press that like button. We got about half of you pressing the like button. Half of you pressing the like button and 75% of you screaming out tickers. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Best of luck today. We can go over Meta real quick. I forgot about Meta. Meta 596. Got to get over it. Got to get over 596 on Meta. But what a weekly chart on Meta, man. This one hurts a little bit. We talked about this in the live stream. We talked about this weekly chart. This one hurts. I messed up on this one, right? We had this game plan set on the weekly bull flag, right? Look at this weekly bull flag, man. This Meta could keep going here, right? This could be just the start. I don't want to feel like we missed out on this, right? Because look at this. Break, retest, weekly bull flag. This could move for multiple weeks. All right, so watch this. Break, retest. Keep that on watch. That's very interesting. All right, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace out.